Hi guys, my name's Tudor, I'm the man on Silver Mountain, and welcome back. Now today, I want to kind of round off this week of me kind of breaking down and analysing my life the way that I do with other clients, albeit in a much vaguer way than I do with clients, just because I'm not daft enough to share all of my personal and private information with you guys online. But it's the last thing that I kind of want to talk about is the idea of 5 year plan. Like, where do I want to be in 5 years? And this is a bit of a gimmick. It's one of these things that you hear a lot of, especially if you're in kind of corporate work, corporate management. It's like the, oh well, 5 year plan. Where are you going to be in 5 years? Where are you going to be at this point, or doing this or that or the other? And it is a bit of a gimmick. It is one of these things that doesn't always help depending on how it's applied. But if you guys have been watching for a while, then you know me. I'm very much more of a big picture than take a a magnifying glass. That's what I'm talking about. Maybe a microscope as well, but a micro glass, tiny microscope, or a tiny magnifying glass. Just yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking crap. And the idea of it is that you have this 5 year plan, this big set of goals and ideas with the limits to them, so that then you can go, right, okay, well those will be the kind of big title markers on the various areas that I want to work towards. And then you may have to make 10 steps to get there. You might have to make 100 steps, 1,000 steps, over those time periods that you lay out for yourself to get to those points, so that by the end of the 5 years you can go, yes, this is where I wanted to be, this is where I am, great, this is exactly what I wanted. And it's good to have that kind of idea, that visualization, because it allows you to move forward towards something, and it gives you, as I said, this big picture, so that you've got the whole map in front of you, and then you can zoom in and pick out the specific little paths that you want to take. So where do I want to be in 5 years? Well, where I'd like to be in 5 years. And I again, there are many more specifics on this that I've got written down for myself and that I work through with by myself. But in regards to what I'm gonna go through is kind of the areas that we've talked about over the last week, but in a little more kind of with a little bit more of a view to the future. And that is the one of the areas that's most important, obviously, is career and work and stuff like that. And so where would I like to be with that at the end of 5 years? Well, I'm going to wrap YouTube into this, considering that most of the YouTube stuff I have done over the whole time that I've been on YouTube, as well as the stuff that I want to continue doing, and even the way that I kind of attach myself to playing games, is all through coaching and sharing that information, allowing that relief either through the provision of information or a little bit of entertainment, something to relax with. And so as a result, kind of looking through to the future, what I'd love to be able to do in 5 years' time would be to travel more with this, to actually go and meet more of you guys at conventions and conferences, to be earning enough money to do more in terms of kind of additional maybe charity stuff, or providing more for you guys in terms of value, things like merchandise, things like other avenues to media that I can produce, or that kind of thing. And more importantly than anything, I'd like to have access to enough clients for me to just be comfortable all the time, and not have to continually be chasing stuff like I am at the moment with these various opportunities and things. If I just want a quiet month, just doing my job, helping people, and getting on with life. If that's kind of what I want to do for just a month, just so I can take it easy while still working for a month, not take holiday or anything, but just relax into the work that I enjoy, instead of having to chase up people and berate them because they've not done their job properly or whatever else. if that's the situation, that's what I want. I want to be able to just go, right, well, I'm in a situation now where if I want to do that, I can't. Right now, I can't stop chasing. I can't stop working. I need to keep the pressure on. By another 5 years, I'd like to be able to think that if I just needed a little bit of time, a little bit of leeway to work on a new project, or to take some time with family, or because there's some event coming up, or whatever else, I'd like to think the by 5 years I'd have enough. I'm not going to say stability, because obviously self-employment, working from client to client, things go up and down. But in terms of just security, maybe that knowledge that if I needed to relax on some of those other kind of chasing aspects, I'd be fine to do so for a while. Obviously, I wouldn't be able to indefinitely, but for a while. And yeah, in regards to YouTube, I'd love to be able to do so much more with this. But again, it becomes a case of time, money, connections with various people and institutions. I've got a few really big ideas with things that I'd like to do, but getting in touch with the right people, organising things with people who are potentially very busy, and all that kind of stuff is so difficult sometimes, especially when those people are either high profile or high up in an organisation. Like there are certain people from academia and the corporate world that I would love to get in touch with to talk over things on camera, like the millennial problem that I've talked about with you guys before, like the some of the hiring things and interview things that we've talked about before, other things around transferable skills and all that kind of stuff. I'd love to find access to those people to do that, but the gaining access is sometimes the hardest part. So there's that I would like to do. In regards to my relationships, as I said, I kind of spelt it out fairly clearly yesterday, but over 5 years, I would at the very least hope that I would be able to sort things out between me and Hannah, and money and all those kind of things that we have to juggle, so that we could actually be in the same place at the same time. For more than a week or so at a pop, so that we can actually start more of a journey together, rather than two people enjoying each other's journeys from a distance. And I'd love to be able to just see my friends more. That's something that's just there, and it's not really anything else that I can really say more on and specify more on, other than I'd like to see them more. I'd like to have more time and opportunity to kind of enjoy their company that in some cases I've missed for a very long while. And so as a result, it's like there's that. But then in regards to the rest of my life, some of the stuff that I'd like to do, I'd like to improve my health. And one of the things that I'm definitely going to be doing as of this year towards that is sometime around my birthday. So not this week, because obviously I'm away, but some point over the next couple of weeks, I'll be making sure that I see a doctor, getting a regular health check every year. It's now post 20s, so it's only downhill from here, right? And so as a result, making sure that I'm seeing a doctor for those regular checkups, considering also so far, touch wood, I've managed to avoid pretty much every serious medical condition when other people in my family, both older and younger, have ended up with stuff that I've somehow managed to avoid. And so, it's only a matter of time until something creeps up on me and decides to stick me in the ribs. And so it's like making sure that I'm keeping an eye, monitoring, making sure that my health is a measurable metric that I can work with. Those are all important things for me to do, so that I can see if something is coming, if something's going to cause me a problem. Then I can try and take measures to avoid it, or take care of it before it becomes too much of an issue. There are a lot of things that in the modern world are horribly impacting on your health. We've got higher levels of stress than we ever have before, for instance. And it's one of those things that you can manage and you can deal with, but sometimes it still catches up with you. And as someone that doesn't sleep, has very rarely got sick as an adult and all that kind of thing, it's something that's in the back of my head as so far you don't sleep very well or particularly consistently, probably more since I've been with Hannah, to be fair, because when I actually do get good sleep, it's probably because she's curled up next to me. The comfort thing overriding the natural inclination that I have just not to get rest. And so it's that I need to take into account, because obviously the more I've worn myself out and the damaging and limiting things that I've done to myself, that so far I've not really had to take any notice of, because I've been able to just walk it off or regenerate through it or whatever. Those are probably going to start catching up with me at some point. So making sure that I've got that those warning signs those kind of warning markers in place, so that I'm going every year, making sure that I'm monitoring my health and making sure that I can take care of that is going to be important. Same also with fitness. I've kind of plateaued with what I'm doing and how I'm doing it at the moment, and I wouldn't say I'm happy with that. I need to do more, get back on track with what I was doing when I was much younger, but at the same time that takes time, and that might very well be time that I don't have, and it becomes that whole juggling act between that lots of people in jobs that work 12 hours every day and whatever else can fully understand. It becomes a bit of a slog, and trying to juggle between kind of just relaxing, recovering from your day, finding yourself some food and whatever else, actually getting rest, and not going insane, as well as then adding potentially an hour workout to that in addition to everything else, can be a real struggle sometimes, especially if you're an individual that has to do a significant amount of traveling to and from wherever it is that you're doing. So that's something that I've got my ideas on, got my things to work out on, and all that. And then otherwise it's like 5 years time, I don't have a huge amount of things that I want, really, but it's a collection of things that are completely achievable. It's just taking all of those steps to get there and making sure that I don't lose track of that path when I'm actually walking it. Just because the map is a big map that I can now zoom in and take a look at the specific paths, it means that when it actually comes to walking those paths, I need to keep in mind kind of how many lefts, how many rights, and how many straight-ons I need to take, so I don't end up getting lost along the way without the map. But anyway, guys, I hope this maybe is this week worth of videos has maybe given you some ideas about maybe how to look at yourselves and which kind of things that you need to examine and how you could examine them. This isn't necessarily the fullest extent that I could have gone into this, but as said, there's an awful lot of either personal information for myself or other people and things that I'm just not really wanting to share to the fullest extent. Especially not on the internet, and so it's something that I hope has given you some ideas on maybe how to look at yourselves and why introspection is useful and important. But otherwise, even if it's just a case of you guys are one of the people who has subscribed more recently, maybe this has just given you some insight into who I am, why I'm doing this, and what I do. And if so, I hope you've found it interesting and that it's given you reason to stick around. But otherwise, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the video next week. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, found it interesting, please drop us a like, share this video, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you in the video next week. Take care.